Marsha Q is back with her next video, and yes, your eyes don't deceive you, it is a mohawk. It is 3 in the morning, so it's not as up as it should be, but that's okay. I'll have it for a couple days until I get my braids back, and even though I know it's summer and normally I would keep my mohawk, it is too hot. It takes too much time. It's like 20 minutes to do my hair just to get the mohawk up, and when you go to work and you have to be there by 9 o'clock in the morning, no, that's extra sleep I could be getting, so no. So braids it'll be for a while. And probably until winter. We don't really have a winter here in Florida. It gets like a couple of days. We have 40, 30 degrees, but it's not really cold here ever. So anyway, let's move on to our subject for today. So today we're going to talk about some tattoo parties I used to go to, and getting tattoos from my home tattooer, and things to look for if you actually do go to a home tattooer. So we're going to go back to late 90s, early 2000s, when Yahoo Chat was super popular. And I used to go on there all the time, and they had like a Florida room or a BBW room I would go in, and it was always ASL, age, sex, location. So I would always go in there with screen names that had like everything on there, because I don't want you asking me a million questions. So it was like Black BBW in Orlando, or Tat Pierce Black BBW in Orlando, 73, so you knew how old I was as well. And so one day I started talking to, let's call him Ian. And he was a tattooer. He worked, actually, I don't know what he was doing for work at the time other than tattooing. I think he was a tattooer. He was previously was a Marine, and he was going to MMI, the motorcycle school. And a lot of his friends were, they all had Harleys. So he was like, hey, you're in Orlando, come hang out with us to see you like tattoos, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, cool. And he was like, well, if you, don't feel super comfortable just like coming over, my wife will come outside and you can meet her and then you can come on in. So I was like, all right, I'll come by. So I think like the next weekend came, and I showed up and I met the wife, and I came in. Of course, I brought some booze. I brought Yingling because I'm not cheap. I bring booze with me. So I brought some Yingling, and I met everybody. And everybody was so down and cool. Even though for the most time when I went, I was the only black girl, the only black person who came. They still were really cool and very nice. And, we just had a lot of fun. And Ian actually did three tattoos for me, yeah, because I have 2 black widows on my back that he did, and they're about yay big. And then I have a bone tribal dragon on this arm, and I have a tribal dragon on this arm. And yeah, one of the dragons I got for free because I babysat their kids one weekend, because we all got super close. Like I babysat them. We would hang out for holiday, like Christmas. Like after they, done the family thing, we'd all come hang out. Or for birthdays, we'd come hang out. After Thanksgiving, we'd all hang out. So it was, like a really kind of cool family. We'd just all hang out with each other. Now, I almost said his real name. Ian and his wife were swingers. But mostly with girls. They would just like, have a girl come join them. But I wasn't bi, so that wasn't going to be for me. But they would sometimes, like, his wife would hook up with other girls without him. So in my head and his head, he was like, well, I guess we can hook up without, being a big deal to her. So him and I used to hook up every once in a while. And I'm not going to go into much detail about that, but we had a good time. And sometimes we'd go on bike rides, and let's just say those were fun bike rides as well. So moving along. But so this went on for like 3 years where we all got to hang out, and I got to be super close friends with everybody. But there was one thing that used to drive me to drink. I would meet everybody, I meet the guys, I meet the girlfriends, and then a week or 2 later when the girlfriends are not around, so many of them would try to get me to hook up with them. I'm like, dude, I met your girlfriend a week ago. How can I hook up with you? You don't have an open relationship. You're not a swinger. So what do you think is going to happen here? And secondly, when she comes back, this face is not good at faking anything or lying. So no, that's not going to happen. But I don't know if that's just, some guys are that way or most guys are that way. But man, it happened a lot. And I was a lot smaller then. Not much, but a lot smaller by then. So it was like, don't be like, oh, they like fat girls. Whatever, they like thick girls. I was the only black girl who was there ever, like I said. So I don't know, maybe they just wanted to hook up with a black girl. I'm not sure. But I'm fabulous, so that's probably what it was. But anyway, moving on. So after that 3 years time, unfortunately, things started to go bad in Ian's marriage. And they ended up moving first. They moved out of state, and he went to go work for Harley, some Alabama, Tennessee, one of those. And so, unfortunately, it just went from bad to worse. They just got divorced. Him and I are still friends on Facebook. I love him to death. I mean, he's doing really good. So, well, I hope he's doing good because you know how it is with Facebook, you lose touch with people. But we're still friends to this day. And so once they left, unfortunately, it all dissipated. Everybody kind of like started doing their own thing because we didn't have a central house to go to. Most of the people were done with their MMI, done with their schooling, so they didn't have that as well. So it just kind of dissipated. People just started moving and going to do different things. So that was sad, and I really missed it because, like I said, we'd become kind of like a little family. And it was even cooler because I worked in construction as a receptionist. Most of the guys there had Harleys, so I knew about bikes. I could hang out with them and talk about bikes. It was just really cool. So once that was over, you know, it was really sad. And even though I had met other home tattooers, it wasn't like I had that same kind of bond. And a lot of them were a little on the sketchy side. So let me jump over to that subject. If you're going to go to you hear about a tattooer who does tattoos at home, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You have to be super careful because like at a shop, you have certain rights when you go to a shop. You know, they have to be sterile, they have to be, you know, be really careful, their equipment is checked, and they have to be certified, all that kind of stuff. At a home tattooer's house, you have no idea what's sterile, you know, what kind of skills they have, unless you're looking at their book and or you're familiar with them or you know them. So the first thing you have to do is go hang out with them for a while. If you're going to go to their house and they're doing tattoos, go hang out, check out their work, see what their book is like. When they're doing a tattoo, see how they set up their station. Is everything clean? Are they opening up new things? Open up new needles? All that stuff you should check out. Secondly, are they drinking while they do your tattoo? Are they smoking weed when they do your tattoo? Any of those kind of things are like no-nos because you want them to be conscious and sane and aware of what's going on while they're putting that ink in your arm or whatever body part they're putting it in. If they only do letters or only see them doing lettering and you never see them do any other kind of tattoo, that is suspect to me because I don't know what else you can do. If you can only do letters, then okay, that's your thing. You're focused on letters. I don't want lettering. That's not going to help me know how good you're going to do on me. Now, for me, one thing I have to check out is I always look and see, have you worked on darker skin? Because not all tattooers know how to work with darker skin. I take red very well. I take a lot of color very well. Even white goes into my skin very well. But not all, black people that happens with. So I always check to find out, hey, let me see, have you worked with black people before or darker skin before so you know what you're doing. Other things to think about, where you're getting it. Certain areas hurt more. My inner arms hurt a lot more in certain areas. My outer arms, not as much. But remember, you have your arms outside, your car. They're getting desensitized. That first couple of layers of your skin get desensitized by the sun. So it doesn't hurt as much a lot of times on the outside. But on the inside, rarely get sun. So a lot of times that does hurt a little bit more. Your legs and thighs, you never know. It's hit or miss. Some people say it hurts. Some people say it doesn't. Feet hurt. Knees hurt. Places with a lot of bones hurt. Lower back hurts. Like my upper back, well, I have a spider here. It didn't hurt at all. But my spider on the right side, oh man, that hurt like a bitch. I had to drink on that one. That thing hurt a lot. So you just never know. The ribs, they say, always hurts. I'm not getting one on my ribs. I have no desire to get one there, so I couldn't tell you. But tattoos hurt. They're annoying. They're not like, oh my God, I'm dying. Why am I doing this? But they are somewhat painful. So when you ask people, oh my God, did it hurt? Sometimes they look at you like you're a moron because yeah, they're sticking needles in your skin. It's gonna hurt. I don't know what else to tell you. Just like with piercings, they're putting a needle through my skin for these. So yeah, they hurt. So just be prepared for a mild amount of pain. And sometimes they'll put no ink in your skin and let you see how it's gonna feel. See if you can handle it. Another thing I look out for is, are you quoting me a price for how many hours it's going to be? Or are you going to quote me for the piece? I prefer the piece because if you do a sketch of my arm, I tell you what I want. You have an idea. You know your skills. You should know how long it's going to take you to do the outline, to do the color, how many sittings it's going to be, those kind of things. Now, if you're a person who can't sit very long, you're going to have to do more, it's going to be more time. So that may take you a little bit longer. You're going to end up paying more, especially if it's by the hour. If it's by the hour you're paying for, it's what they get done in that time. And if it takes a little bit longer than that, they're going to let you know, hey, it's probably going to be this many more hours and you're going to have to pay for that. Now, if they quote you 20 hours and it ends up being 50, that's a problem because 20 and 50 aren't even close to each other. If it says 20 hours and it ends up being 30 because they're making your piece better or it looks even better than you expected, it's understandable because they're doing better work on you. They're making your tattoo look as beautiful as it possibly can be. Granted, you need to have that kind of contingent money. If, you know, we've gotten to halfway through and I'm like, okay, this does not look done. Are we going to be done in 5 sessions, or do I need to budget for more? So keep that in mind of those kind of things. Another thing, tattoo artists do not like copying other people's work. So they're like, hey, I can give you my interpretation of this work, but they do not like copying other people's work. You can pull something from YouTube as long as, I mean, not YouTube, Google, as long as it's not like another person's tattoo, and say, hey, I want this tattoo, and they can normally, you know, draw it or, you know, make it as close to that as possible. But yeah, no, they don't want to copy other people's work. If you're going to do a portrait, make sure you have a really good picture with great detail and resolution, because the better the picture, the better the portrait on your arm. So I have one portrait. I have a picture of myself on my arm. I'll talk about that in another video, because I went on TV for that one. I went on Miami Ink to get that tattoo, so I could show it to you guys later and tell a little story about that one, because it was kind of exciting. It was fun. So I'll talk about that another time. But I think I'm going to stop on my little rant or tirade right now about what to look for when you're going to get a tattoo. Since I'm not an expert, it's just my experience with tattoos and home tattooers especially. So when I talk about the going to the shop for the TV show, I'll talk more about my shop experiences of different shops I've gone to and what I expect when I go there. So since a lot of people seem to like more when I talk more specifically about things that have happened in my life, I'm going to do a little bit more of those so you get to know a little bit more about me and my past and everything that's gone on that makes Marsha Marsha. So we're going to end this right now. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you'd like to subscribe and you haven't already, please do so. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Marsha Keys out. Bye.